The eclipse was impressive, eh?
I wouldn't partake in the solar eclipse demonic ritual if I were you. You've heard of the Bohemian Grove, right? In ancient cultures wouldn't dare look at the moon during an eclipse. Some people teach it's where the most demonic and tortured souls go. Very few people can actually astral travel. Stop partaking in all these holidays and these events that the masses do, and you have no idea why you're doing it. I also recommend fasting and meditating indoors. That's where I'll be, so these energies don't influence you. So you're gonna watch this solar eclipse, or you're gonna be indoors where I'm gonna be meditating so we can battle this darkness together. Wake up! I still love you.
So that is Reverend Dr. Nick Eagle, who is claiming to be a reverend and wants to protect you from those evil energies, but he's a yoga and meditation teacher, and yoga is a spiritual practice to allow demons into your body. Let's learn some more about the eclipse.
And the eclipse is, they say, Jihana e da, which is to say the sun has died. And so the event after the solar eclipse occurs, that it is like a coming back to life, a rebirth, and the time when we have to recognize that at some point in time we will all pass into the next world, we will die. But we also have to understand that we will be made alive again, and we will be renewed, as to show us that the sun dies and then the sun comes back to life again. And so during that time period, we are to remain indoors and to understand that which means it is a sacred time, and we must keep all things sacred in recognizing the event. And so as we sit indoors, we are quiet. We don't laugh foolishly. We don't joke around. And we take the time to think what the holy people have provided us with as far as our environment here on the surface of Mother Earth. And that all life is given by the holy people. And
So that was quite confusing to watch. On the one hand, you've got this guy down here with his ancient mystery school symbols. Nonsense. Demons. Forget about it. Don't need it. But then you have the Native American guy saying about the sun that will die and be reborn, and that we all must give thanks and that it's sacred. And I understand that maybe he's talking about the Mother Earth or whatever, but the thing about all these world religions is that they all copy the real one, the one that is always attacked. Now, whether we had to stay inside or go outside during the eclipse, I don't really know. All I know is that I went out to watch it. Did you? Let me know down in the comments if that went well for you. I tried to get some pictures using different sunglasses and filters and visors and things like that. None of it really worked. But yeah, just let me know what you done during the eclipse. And now let's have a look at this very important eclipse. Matthew 27:45. Now from the 6th hour until the 9th hour there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? So apparently early writers tried to say that that was an eclipse. But then modern astronomy notes that a solar eclipse is impossible at Passover, which is full moon, though some researchers point to a lunar eclipse visible that evening in AD 33.
Did you know that NASA has done research on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and what they found proves the Bible is true? The Bible says in Matthew 27:45, when it's talking about Jesus' crucifixion, that there was darkness in Jerusalem from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. And if you Google when scholars think that Jesus was crucified, it was April the 3rd, 33 AD. But this is what will blow your mind. According to NASA.gov, there was a partial eclipse in Jerusalem on that day. And they say that it lasted 2 hours and 50-something minutes, the exact time that the Bible also says. So if you believe that the Bible is true, then subscribe for more. Did you?
I mean, the Bible definitely is true. I'm not for a second doubting that there was darkness, but whether we can put it down to an eclipse like we seen yesterday or not, that is the question, isn't it? I know for a fact I do not trust NASA, and I hope you don't either.
Werner von Braun, Ludwig Roth, Arthur Rudolph are pictured here at Fort Bliss, Texas in 1946. Many had worked to develop the V-2 rocket at Peenemünde, Germany, and came to the United States after World War II, subsequently working on various rockets, including the Explorer 1 space rocket and, of course, the Saturn V rocket at NASA. These are the people who founded NASA, and then they put Freemasons in charge of the whole thing.
So that's Operation Paperclip. They brought a bunch of Nazi scientists over to the West. Some went to Russia as well. And yeah, they essentially ran NASA. NASA was their thing. But it gets even stranger when you look into the Jet Propulsion Labs.
Parsons wasn't just a rocket scientist. He was also a practicing occultist. He was a devoted member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO, an esoteric order led at the time by the infamous Aleister Crowley. Thelema, their belief system, combined ceremonial magic, Eastern mysticism, and tantric techniques into what Crowley called sex magic. That's magic with a K, to distinguish it from stage tricks. The rituals were elaborate, invoking gods, spirits, and forces said to reside in higher dimensions. Kind of a weird extracurricular for a guy who became known as the father of the American space program.
All very strange indeed, isn't it? Now, I actually have a book that is credited to being written in part by Aleister Crowley, The Lesser Key of Solomon. You see that? Aleister Crowley there at the bottom. There he is pictured on the back. Not to engage in any witchcraft or anything like that. That is not my bag at all. Hail Christ and denounce evil. But I just wanted to learn. Now, the problem is, at the start of the book, it asks you to invoke the Bornless One, and immediately I was like, no. So I haven't actually read this book. There is a book tied to King Solomon, which apparently a lot of the wisdom that Crowley used came from learning about King Solomon that I'm going to get. We will be looking at demons and the such in the future, but we need to do a bit more research on those first, just to make sure everyone's protected. But subscribe if you're interested in looking at that, and let me know down below what topics or like which rabbit holes within demonology and stuff you'd like to go into.
There was an event that took place back in the late 40s known as the Babylon Working Ritual. Now, this was a ritual that was carried out by Jack Parsons, JPL. You know, people will even to this day say that JPL stands for Jack Parsons Laboratories, but on paper it's Jet Propulsion Laboratories. JPL is major. It's a historic, so much surrounding this, so much history here. Jack Parsons was not professionally trained, yet he was tapping into high technology and building rockets. How do you do that without any type of formal training? There were no rocket programs in America before Jack Parsons. This is paramount to understand. This guy was tapping into theosophy, Thelema, the religion of Aleister Crowley. He was a disciple of Aleister Crowley, and he was working with L. Ron Hubbard, who was the founder of Scientology. Interestingly, not only did L. Ron Hubbard start Scientology, but he was a science fiction writer. The movie Battlefield Earth with John Travolta, well, that was written by L. Ron Hubbard. Interestingly also, John Travolta is a Scientologist, right? Now, I mention this because this is a man who writes science fiction, yet he started a religion based on science fiction. There has to be something in there where he's getting these clues and these ideas. He's getting these from another realm.
Of supernatural activity that took place after that ritual was performed.
Babylon Working was successful according to Jack Parsons. Matter of fact, Parsons said in his Antichrist Manifesto that they were successful, and that a child was conceived in that act, and that there was a spirit known as Hilarion. The government puts together this group that says, we're going to get answers to what exactly took place out there in the desert in California by Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard. They go to Jack Parsons, and keep in mind, Jack Parsons is also working with the government. He's now been given, special privileges on things. So they go to him and they say, Jack, all of this stuff that's happening right now, did you do this? Did you do this? And he said, I think so. Now, shortly thereafter, Jack Parsons blows himself up in a lab. Accidental. It was not intentional. Belief was that whoever opened up the portal had to close the portal. Well, Jack Parsons is now dead. And the federal government is now having to understand and depict exactly to the public what's happening here. And so this group is researching, and out of that group, they finally start to make some headway. They know they're dealing with entities. And so in all of that, they begin to try to make contact with those entities, maybe for some help, maybe because they're trying to figure out how to close this thing, maybe they're trying to figure out how to undo what Jack Parsons did. So they go through satanic rituals to communicate, because that's the only method of communication that they know that works to contact these entities. In doing this, there's a small faction known as the Collins Elite. But once they began to engage in satanic rituals and magic and alchemy, this group says, hey, you know what? This is not what we signed up for. This small group raises up. It's a faction. It's a counterpoint group, which means that they are no longer in agreement with the big group. They have a different opinion. They say, we have a Christian worldview. This goes against our Christian worldview. And so they see that entities are being channeled and communicated with, and now technology is being given through these rituals to these other members of the government. So the Collins Elite says, whoa, this is dangerous. You guys are really playing with fire here. We can't support this. We can't do this. And they came up with this idea that the aliens were going to take over, and that in order to protect our country from the aliens, from the entities, they believed that we needed to instate a forced theocracy based on the law of Moses. Okay, this was what's known as a limited access program, or an LAP. A limited access program.
And so there we go. There's a longer video that's from. It's on End Times Productions on YouTube. Definitely go and check them out. Loads of knowledge, lots of exploration of what's actually going on. It's really great stuff. So, they believed that a child was born. Now, why does that matter? Well, back to Crowley. They believed in something called star children, which is certainly a kind of growing religion, one might almost call it, that lines up with all this stuff, lines up with like the Anunnaki and everything. But the important thing to remember is, there are no aliens, there are no UFOs from millions of light years away. These are fallen angels and demons cultivating a deception to take you away from the truth. The one truth. Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for watching. If you've had a good time, if you've learned anything, if it's made you ask any questions, please subscribe and come back, comment down below, do all the YouTube things. Just before you go, as we've already read from Matthew today, let's do it again. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. God bless. Have courage. Wait on the Lord.